Okay,
In
now we're
lesson
going to
4,
do
the
lesson
objective
4.
is use exponents to denote powers of 10 with application to metric conversions. So we're basically going to try to apply this to real world situations. Okay, question 1 says convert and write an equation with an exponent. Use your meter strip when it helps you. Instead of a meter strip, I like to teach them a mnemonic in order to help them remember. And it goes like this: King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. And these are all the different prefixes for the metric system. It starts off over here to the left with kilo, which means thousand. We have hecto and deca, which are measurements not used very often, but we need them there for placeholders. Now we have the unit, the base unit. Since we're doing distance, this here would be the meter. Then we have deci, which is not used very often, centa, and milli. Now, when you see milli, it's meant as m. M, when you say meter, it will be represented just with one m. Kilo would be km, kilometers. Now, the first one says 2 meters to centimeters. And it's saying here that 2 meters equals 200 centimeters. And they're basing that on 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. So, if 1 meter equals 100 centimeters, 2 meters times 10 to the second would equal 200. And 10 to the second being 100. So they're basically just saying that 100 centimeters, 2 times 100 meters equals 200 centimeters. Now this was going from a larger to a smaller unit of measure. Now going from the B, we're going from a smaller to a larger. So when we're going for a smaller to a larger, you're going to end up dividing. So here we have 108 centimeters. And what you can tell, you're going from centimeters here over to meters. And you can see there's 2 place values. The 2 place values tell you that's 10 to the second. It's got to move 2 place values. So that's how we're getting 108 divided by 10 to the second, which would be 100. So 108 centimeters equals 1.08 meters. Now we're not really changing the distance. All we're doing is representing it differently. Okay. Next is 2 and 49 meters to centimeters. So I'm at meters. I can see there's 2 place values to centimeters. So that's 10 to the second. So I know I'm going from a larger to a smaller unit. So it's going to be 2 and 49 times 10 to the second. And that means that 2 and 49 meters is going to equal, when I multiply it by 100, 249 centimeters. And that makes sense because 1 meter equals 100, so 2 meters is going to equal 200. Then you have the 49. Next is 50 centimeters to meters. Okay, we're going from a smaller to a larger, so we're going to be dividing. So we got 50 divided by centimeters to meters. I can count them. Centimeters to meters is 2 place values, so we're going to be dividing by 10 to the second. So 50 centimeters divided by 10 to the second, so it's going to move 2 place values, is going to be 0.5 meters. Now next we have 6.3 meters to centimeters. We're going from a larger to a smaller unit. So we're going to multiply. And we know, looking at our top, we're going from meter to centimeter. That's 2 place values away. So we're going to be multiplying by 10 to the second. And we get 630 centimeters. On H, we have 7 centimeters, and we're converting to meters. So we're going from centa to meters. So we're going from smaller to larger. We're going to divide. So we have 7 divided by, and it's 2 place values away, so it's going to be 10 to the second. And we're dividing, moving 2 place values, we're going to get 0.07 meters. G says in the space below, list the letters of problems where the smaller units are converted to larger units. So smaller on this one would be centimeter to meters. So on B, we're going from centimeters to meters. And D, we're doing centimeters to meters. F, we're doing centimeters to meters. So those are the three. We're actually going from smaller units to larger units. Okay, now that I've shown you the exponent like that, I want to show you another way, another strategy in order to do it. And then this is really using this King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. So I'm going to put this up here. King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. And what I'd like to do here is I'd like to say, okay, 4 meters. So I'm gonna put my dot. We know the unit right here is meters. I'm gonna put my dot right here where I'm at. It tells me I'm going to millimeters. So I'm gonna draw an arrow going to millimeters. So the arrow tells me the direction that I'm going to be moving the decimal point. And I can see that I'm going to be moving it 1, 2, 3 positions to the right. So here I have 4. Here's my decimal because it's always right after the whole number. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 positions to the right. And I'm filling in my zeros. And I know that now that 4 meters equals 4,000 millimeters. Now doing the exponential, it'd be 4 meters. Actually, it'd be 4 times. Now I know I'm at the U, and I'm moving 3 place values, so that's going to be 10 to the third. Next one, 1.7 meters. Okay. On this one, I'm on meters again. I'm going to millimeters, so once again, that's going to be 10 to the third because it's 3 place values away. So in all actuality, we have 1.7 meters times 10 to the third. So I'm going to shift the decimal 3 place values. 1, 2. So if I have 1.7, and I shift it 3 place values, it's 1, 2, 3, and fill in my placeholders. So it's 1,700 millimeters. On C, I have 1,050 millimeters. Okay, so we're going to change it this time. This time you can see I'm putting my dot right here on millimeters. And this says I'm going to meters. This is the first time in this set that I'm actually moving the decimal to the left. So I know it's still 3, so I'm going to have 1050, and it's 10 to the third still, but I'm going to the left, so I'm actually dividing. I'm going from a smaller to a larger unit. So to shift it 3 positions to the left, I have my decimal point and go 1, 2, and 3, and I have 1.05 meters. Next one, 65 millimeters. So I know 65. I'm going from a small to a large again, so I'm going to be dividing, and I'm moving 3 place values, so it's going to be 10 to the third. So 65, and I'm moving 3 place values in the direction of the arrow, so that's 1, 2, and 3. So we have 0.065 meters. On E, we have 4.92 hundredths of a meter. So I'm going to put it over here. And I'm going from meters to centimeters, so I know I'm going to multiply because I'm going from a larger to a smaller. It is still 3 place values because meters to millimeters is 10 to the third. So I'd move it 3 place values to the right in the direction of the arrow. Because this time, if I'm on meters right here, and I'm going to millimeters, my arrow has shifted direction again. So we end up with 4,920 millimeters. And our last one, we have 3 millimeters to meters. So it's 3. I'm doing millimeters to meters, so I'm going back the other direction again. So millimeters going this direction, so I'll be moving to the left. So that means I'm dividing, and I'm going to 10 to the third again because it's 3 place values. So 3, and the decimal's always after the whole number. Move 1, 2, 3, put in our placeholders. So we know this one is 0.003 meters. List the space below, list the letters of the problems that were larger units converted to smaller units. So this one here was meters to millimeters or millimeters to meters. Meter is a larger unit. So we can see A, B, and E were the 3 where we went smaller to larger. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put my mnemonic back up here again. For King, Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. It says read each aloud as you write the equivalent measures. Write an equation, an exponent you might use to convert. Well, here it's telling me I'm going from meter to millimeters. So I can see that it's 1, 2, 3 place values away. That's where the 10 to the third came from. So 2 and 638 thousandths times 10 to the third gives us 2,638. Okay. Now the next one, I'm going to come down to here, and I'm putting it at centimeters, and it's saying we're going to meters. Now this is the first one that's been a little different. You can see we're moving our decimal place to the left 2 positions, but we're going from a smaller to a larger, so we're going to divide. So we get 7 divided by, we move 2 place values, so that's going to be 10 to the second. So if we have 7 in decimal, we're going 2 place values in the direction of the arrow, 1, 2, it's going to be 0.07 meters, excuse me. So it's 0.07. And the next one, I'm at millimeters right here. I'm going to make it bigger so we can follow it. That's millimeters. And we're going to meters. And I can see that's 1, 2, 3 place values to the left. So I know this is 10 to the third. It's going to the left, so it's division, and I've got 39 millimeters. So going to the left 3 positions, I would go 1, 2, 3, and we'd have 0.039 meters. Okay, let me do our mnemonic down here because it's getting kind of messy up top. King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. And we're starting at meter for the base unit, and we're going to millimeter. And we can see that's 1, 2, 3 place values, so that's going to be 10 to the third. We're going from a larger to a smaller, so we're going to be multiplying. So 0.08 meters times 10 to the third. When we shift this 0.08, 3 positions in the direction of the arrow, it was 1, 2, 3. So we end up with 80 millimeters. Ooh, well, that's correct. Okay, on E, the last one on E, we're starting at millimeters. Excuse me, we're starting at meter again. And we're going to centimeters right here. And we can see this 1, 2 positions. So we have 0.005 times 10 to the second, because 2 place values. When we shift that 0.005, 2 place values in the direction of the arrow, 1, 2, we end up with 0.5 centimeters. Question 4. Yi Ting's height is 1 and 49/100 meters. Express this measurement in millimeters. Okay. So let's do the King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. And we know millimeters is over here and our meters is here. So it says that we have 1 and 49 meters, and they want us to convert that to millimeters. So I'm at meter, I'm going to millimeters, which is 1, 2, 3 away. So if I have that 1 and 49 and I'm moving 3 positions in the direction of the arrow, 1, 2, 3, that's 1490 millimeters. Now it says include an equation with an exponent. Okay, well we can still use what we did here for that. We know we started out with 1 and 49. We're going from a larger to a smaller, so we know we're multiplying, and we shifted 1, 2, 3 positions, so that's going to be 10 to the third. Question 5. A ladybug's length measures 2 centimeters. Express this measurement in meters. Alright, well let's get our tool back. King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. We know that's millimeters. This here is meters. Now they're saying 2 centimeters equals blank, and they're wanting that expressed to meters. So I'm putting my dot where I'm at, which is centimeters. I'm going to meters, and that's 1, 2 positions away. So if I start with my 2 centimeters and I put my dot, my decimal there, I move it 2 spots in the direction of the arrow, we can see that we have 2/100ths of a meter. Now we have to do the exponent. So we're going to start off with what we started with, 2 centimeters. We're going from a smaller to a larger, so we're going to be dividing, and we're moving 2 place values, so it's going to be 10 to the second. The length of a sticky note measures 77 millimeters. Express the length in meters. Alright, you'll always see me do King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. Millimeters again, this here be centimeters, this is meters, and this is kilometers. Okay, now it says we're going 77 millimeters, and they want to put that into meters. So I can see I'm at millimeters here, and I'm going to meters here, and that is 1, 2, 3 place values away. So I'm going to be moving the decimal point to the left 3 positions. So 77, 3 positions, 1, 2, 3, 77 millimeters equals 77/100ths of a meter. Now for exponents, we have 77 meters, and we are going from a small to a large, so this is division, and we move 3 place values, so that's going to be 10 to the third.